Yeah, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. So, what's on your mind?
I'm just curious. I'm just misled by, like, I guess your background. Like, are you? I'm just confused. So you're voting for, or like, what side you're leaning towards?
I'm voting for Trump.
Okay. Oh, so am I. Well, is it okay still if we have a conversation?
Yeah. I mean, tonight I'm just thinking, like, I want people to come up, and it's not about debate necessarily. It's more about, like, telling your personalization of this is why personally I'm voting for who our candidate is. Being real about it.
Yeah, and I believe that's issue because, especially with the younger generation, I could speak from that. It's people are making it a personalized popularity contest, and that's not what it should be. It should be who's more qualified and what certain policies are you voting for. And people, the first question they ask when they get on lives like this is, oh, name me a policy, name me a certain amount of policies. How both candidates haven't even came forward and gave a set list of policies. They've hinted on what they want to do, but how are we, people who just go based off what we see on our TV screens about debates, how are we supposed to give a policy when they don't even know their own policies? And that goes for both. And again, I'm voting for Trump primarily because, again, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was just saying, right.
I was just going to say, personally, for me, I'm voting on, because, again, while neither of them have set stone policies, I go based off actions, and Trump, I believe that he delivered in his last 4 years, and I'm not a hardcore die for Trump person. I will sit here and say, yeah, Trump messed up. Everyone does, and I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, he's a felon. Yeah, he hid money, he committed fraud, but what? And that's the thing. People are like, oh, why are you voting for a felon? What does that have to do with America's interests? People are like, then, oh, he's a liar. What did he lie about that affected the American people and the amount of money American people had while he was in office? And then from there, people say, oh, he inherited Trump or Obama's economy. Yeah, every president ever inherits the economy before them, but it's up to them to keep it moving forward and not just let it sit and not let it go down.
Yeah. So what's your big, like, the number one thing for you?
For me, I'd say,
a couple other folks that are in queue, but what's the one big thing for you?
I'd say it's just overall money. I mean, gas was cheaper, groceries were cheaper, everything was cheaper, and people say you can't account that to Trump, but again, it's up to Trump to keep it that way. And again, I'm not gonna sit here and blame Biden fully. There's tons of world events that cause that, but I will say the biggest thing for me also under the Biden administration was the whole that America's dollar value was depreciated more than any other country during his presidency. And that's because so much money was printed and given out to people who, I'm not going to say don't need it, but again, we give out billions of dollars over the past 4 years.
I think I know what you're getting at. So, I mean, economy and just
overall taxes.
Right?
Yeah,
it's like
Trump. It is. Trump's big on cutting overtime taxes, cutting other types of taxes as well. And for me, that's big because I work a lot of overtime, and I see it common right here. Trump or Biden had the least inflation, and right now, yes, that's true. But during his first 2 years of presidency, it spiked to astronomical levels. It's only now returned to normal because there is now, again, the whole world, our country revolves around what other countries are doing, and that's what I think people don't understand. If you're born male, you shouldn't be allowed in the female locker room. I'm a big believer on that, and And then again, for me personally, again, it's not a popularity contest for me. I look at both track records. I look at Trump's track record, and I look at VP Harris's track record. Trump, what he has done, he has a big mouth. He doesn't know when to stop talking. But he still, what he said he was going to get done, he did get done. And what has VP Harris got done that has benefited our country? And you can make the argument that she's been in office for 3.5 years. And vice president doesn't have much, but it was when Biden admitted to show you that she does have pull within the White House currently and has had it over the past 3 years, and she has done nothing with it.
All right, man. I'm going to have to leave it at that. Andres, appreciate you coming up and kind of sharing your thought process.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I hope people heard it out and, can make up their own minds and take that input in there. So thanks for joining. So we're going to get retired Master Chief up here. Hey, Master Chief, how you doing? Can you hear me? You there with us? All right. I think try again. On it. Yeah, just give it another shot. So, I'm interested tonight. Folks, tell me what's driving your vote. Not so much about how the other candidate is immoral, is not smart, none of that stuff. Just what's the driving force behind your vote? What do you stand to benefit? Some folks, they want more student loan debt relief, right? And if that's what it is, go ahead. That's fine. Let's just own it, right? And just acknowledge where that comes from, and put it out there for people to kind of consider and think about. Because I know it has helped out with a lot of folks, and at the same time, it's continuing the printing press, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword, right? See what comments we're getting in here. She's not good to be president. Vote red, Trump for president. You have to be the stupidest person on earth to vote for Harris. Are you blind to see that at least? Oh boy. Well, guys, what's driving your vote for Trump there? I'll give you the clown sticker there, Jerry. What about tax? What about the tax cuts for the rich? What are those? D, are you talking about new ones, or are you talking about the existing tax structure that we have in place that was from Trump? Because it actually reduced taxes for everybody. In fact, I'll give you a scenario, right? The tax brackets moved down. All the entire structure moved down. And one thing he did is he basically doubled the standard deduction. And I think right now it stands at like $27,000. So, you're a married couple getting going, $30,000 of income. You can deduct $27,000 of your income to be exempt from tax. And, you probably look at a couple other things, or income tax credit and other stuff, and you actually shouldn't have to pay any tax at all. So you think about that. At the lowest end, there's almost no tax now. You can do the analysis for 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. And, it trickles. There's more tax that starts to get taken, but by and large, that massive deduction is in place there, is really helping folks in addition to the lower marginal rates. And they're rewriting voting laws to save it. Is that right? Is that how it goes? She's raising taxes for people that make over $450,000, right? I think 400 is the latest number they've settled on. originally, way back when they started when Biden was running with Harris, they were talking 200. So it's a moving target to me. I mean, today it's 400, but who gets to define rich? That's an important question to me. Reduction of corporate tax rates. Yeah, that led to a lot of investment and profits in the market run that we see now. Biggest portion went to corporations. So yeah, if you're looking at it in terms of scale, it did. But the example I just gave, the person making $30,000 a year, the married couple at $30,000 a year, having 27,000 of it kind of eliminated from being subject to any taxation, that's practically 90% of your income is free of tax. And then you add earned income tax credit and maybe some other things in there. And 100% of your income is in your hands at that point. On the higher end, I think it was like a 2% reduction for the income tax. And so, yeah, that 2% that they have may be quite a bit more than 30,000. But if you look at the level of benefit that was received, it was way more sizable on the lower end. Trump is coming back. Trickle-down economics is one. I don't think of this as trickle-down economics. I mean, the tax brackets were adjusted across the board to really help everybody, right? What we're seeing now with Harris, she's saying, I'm going to hold those people accountable. You've been wronged, right? Who are those people? It's the rich in her mind, and who gets to define what rich is? That's an important question. And so her economics is Robin Hood economics. That's what she's proposing. But who she gives it to is actually a question, because if you're all in, like, yes, tax the rich, take more money from them, and they do that, are they going to then turn around? They're actually not. It's not going to go into your pocket. Where is it going to go? I mean, we pay over $200 billion for foreign aid for all these recent events going on, and yet they say that $20 billion would have ended homelessness nationwide. So if they would have taken 1/10 of that aid and applied it in whatever program they propose they have that'll fix homelessness, it comes down to priorities. And so I don't trust the prioritization or the level of flawed execution that I see on the liberal side. Not looking good at all. No conservatives are... Whoa. Going to the Dems, but the Dems are moving by the droves. If she's buying votes, you got to admit Elon is really buying votes. How's Elon buying votes? Is he giving everyone a Tesla? Because maybe I should sign up. How's Elon buying votes? I mean, you forgive $35,000 of someone's debt. You give them $25,000 to buy a new home, $20,000 to start a business, right? These are in the form of loans that are forgiven, is how they're being portrayed. So that's pretty significant. Still waiting for that trickle-down effect. Thanks. So depending on what level you're at, I mean, if you're making like $450 a year, $350 a year, you probably just saw like a 2% savings in your taxes. Not very significant like the lower end that gets a 90+% savings. She's going to fix the economy that failed. Bidenomics is hilarious. The thought of... Yeah. What about white entrepreneurs? That's a good question. I don't like this. In fact, I got that data point from Bloomberg News. I was just watching it this morning, and they put it up on the screen, and it was joined with legalizing certain substances that people smoke. Legalizing that, coupled with $20,000, and they said that this is an attempt to attract voters of a particular demographic, and I just think it's horrible. The characterization that comes with that. But it is a question to ask, like, why is there such a exclusiveness to some of this stuff? It's like she's looking for enough groups to give something to that'll become, her base of votes. So, I mean, if, Mississippi was a swing state, what would she give them? Trump only added $8 trillion to the debt last time. But anyway, if you guys want to jump on the mic, it's not a debate. I just want to hear real stories of people personalizing what it is that's driving your vote. What is it that makes you want to vote for the candidate, either in front of us here or the other guy?
How's it going?
Hey, Malachi, what's going on?
It's Malachi.
Malachi, my mistake.
Yeah, I'm just voting for her because she's black.
Is that it?
And she's a woman.
Okay. That's awesome.
It's like we already had like the first black male president. Now we got to have like a black female president.
I thought somebody Asian should have been next.
What?
Any other thoughts that you want to put out there?
Yeah. I mean, are these our policies you got down here?
Yes.
Okay. Well, firstly, the student loan thing, we need to like dissect what major these people are getting to qualify for these loans. If they're going to get like an art degree or like a English degree, they shouldn't get that loan.
If it's pretty clear that it's going to be difficult to pay off.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're going to go be a teacher and you went to Columbia and you have a $400,000 bill at the end of it, that wasn't like the best decision in the world.
Yeah, because they got degrees for everything, and it's ridiculous. And honestly, that we need to stop. I mean, the student loan forgiveness from the government, that's just, what do you call it? Like, I don't know, a corporate bailout from the government. I don't think we should have that in any type of form. We got to like separate colleges from having some sort of like, some sort of soft landing.
Yeah.
Because they're going to keep jacking up the prices to astronomical amounts if we have shit like this.
Okay. Well, hey, I appreciate your thought process on that, and I hope you kind of reach some folks here tonight to give them something to think about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Got Kelly coming up here next. Hey, Kelly, how you doing?
Hi, political gal. How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
So, there's always something going around about politics. It's always present, whether it's Trump, and back in the day it was Obama, and now it's the female. Right. I'm sorry, I can't.
No, you're doing good. You're doing fine.
Well, my phone isn't giving me the sound that I want.
Oh, I see.
Kamala is someone I support, and I'll tell you why. It's not because she supports abortions or anything like that. Okay?
Yeah.
She does not act like Trump. I mean, he acts like a fucking retard.
Okay.
I mean, seriously.
So
Have you ever watched the movie with Michael J. Fox? And they have Biff.
And they have what?
They have Biff.
Oh, yeah. Back to the Future. That's right.
Yeah. Trump is Biff.
You think Trump's Biff?
Yeah. He truly is.
You think he's like Biff in the one version that he got the almanac?
He is like Biff in every version.
Okay.
Like, come on, man. If you don't get what you want, you like throw a fit and throw a hissy fit, and we've all seen how he witnessed the Capitol riot, how he stood there and reacted to it. We've all seen that. Have you not?
Yeah, I think there's been quite a bit of documents on that. But hey, for tonight though, I'm curious, like, what's the number one thing that's driving you to vote for Kamala? I'm looking for some personal stories as to what what folks feel is going to benefit them or what's good for them, because I wonder if maybe we can shift the discussion towards those types of things. Maybe we can kind of, I don't know, cool some of the tension that's out there. You know what I mean?
Well, for me, it's kind of everything, and I can't like bring it down to one thing. I mean, I get messages every day about who I'm voting for, why I would vote for them, this and that, but it comes down to my personal opinion, my I had a job. I had a great job. And my boss sold out to a higher power.
Okay.
And the higher power decided that I wasn't good enough. And it wasn't because I wasn't good enough. It was because she lost all her help and tried to pull back in all her help. And it wasn't just one, it was two people.
Uh-huh.
So it's like political, I don't know, what
Just
would you
like
call
office
it?
politics kind of thing.
Office politics, yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Was it like a layoff scenario that you're kind of describing there?
It was a termination.
Oh, okay. Small business, larger corporation.
Oh, huge corporation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I think there's always circles like that exist, no matter where you go. And, I feel fortunate that the spot I'm at, they very much are against that type of action. So I don't see a lot of it where I'm at, and I'm grateful for that. But, in prior positions elsewhere that I've been in, I have seen those sorts of things. And, it's, just picking your buddy instead of picking people that perform well. It's that never feels good.
Oh no, it wasn't even about picking a buddy or taking anything. It was they bought the company, and a year later, they decided that, I wasn't good enough.
Oh, you're talking about like some kind of a consolidation here where they're reducing staff.
Yes.
I gotcha. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the course of business that happens. That's, yeah.
Yeah, but it totally ruined my career. And I don't know if they don't realize that or they don't care, but they ruined my career.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And so I guess maybe is that part of your vote for Harris, that you're hopeful those scenarios will not happen again in the future if she can do something about it?
No, it has nothing to do with it at all. I'm Democratic. I've always been Democrat, born and raised. But I've sat back and I've watched Trump just obliterate the Constitution. He totally obliterates it. He's ignorant. And now, he's what?
Okay. Well, I hope that...
no, seriously. I'm asking you, what is he?
To me, he's a guy running for president.
He's a felon.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, I appreciate all your thoughts, and I'm hopeful that, folks were able to kind of hear it out and, kind of take that into consideration as part of, what they want to vote for. But I want to see if some other folks can kind of jump in to give, a personalized account of like, this is why I'm voting for, a given candidate as well tonight. But I do, my sympathies I want to express for your situation with the corporate takeover that you described. It sounds like it happened fairly recently, but I'm hopeful that there'll be more increase for you in the future.
Yeah, me too, but life is life. Shit is shit. And shit rolls downhill, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, to be honest.
Okay. All right. I apologize.
It does.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Kelly, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Tyler, you turned into a skeleton. I don't know why. At least I'm going to pretend not to know why. Sending you guys some stickers here. Princess. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I don't think I got enough stickers for this stuff. I don't even know. Here, you get a Gavin Newsom for that. How about that? Oh, man. Well, I don't know. But, I mean, I want to hear, stories, a personal account, what this election means to me. Give me a top reason that you're voting for your candidate. And, put it out there as something for people to consider, Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good.
All right. What's on your mind?
the liberal, they are buying votes.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
I was busy about me. I voted for Donald Trump. And I voted down Republican, and I just what they do these liberals in here. I want the other one. Kamala is fake. She is Joe Biden. She be another. She just will do everything that Joe Biden been.
Yeah.
She said.
What's your number one reason to vote for Trump?
I remember when I was in high school, the government was better, and I think inflation was not as high, and the gas was so much cheaper, and everyone was thriving back then. And all the Democrats think breast gouging is a thing. It is not. Breast gouging, there is no breast gouging. What do you think they let breast gouging who make no sense? They communism. What countries like Russia do breast gouging, try to lie to people. Because she lying to American people.
Gotcha. Well, hey, Nikki, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with everybody, giving people something to think about here tonight as they kind of go about their votes. So I appreciate you joining me here.
Thank you.
All right. Who we got next? I can't quite read that. Doesn't seem to be normal characters, but guest, how are you doing this evening?
I don't know why it doesn't let me mute, because I usually have an echo, but it's fine. My name is Vexer, so I know it's very hard. I'm voting for Kamala.
Okay. I guess tell the folks on the live here a little bit more about that. Like, what's your top thing that's really getting you going to vote for her?
Because she's a black female.
Okay.
Also, it's because I love the fact that we left our military equipment in Afghanistan, and not decommissioned or anything.
Yeah.
We just gave it to a terrorist group. That's great. Like, that's a good reason why I'm voting for her. I love the fact that she's putting non-U.S. citizens first before putting U.S. citizens. That's great. I mean, I might just move to Mexico or, Ukraine and just get funding.
Well, actually, if you do that, then you come across the border, you might get some benefits.
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing. I love the fact how some people are getting turned down for FEMA. That's great. Because, honestly, her belt costs $770 and, FEMA costs $750. That's beautiful. No, I also love how they call Trump racist, but Joe Biden, who endorsed Kamala, is racist. That's, of course, Trump is racist, even though he's never said anything that's racist. So, yeah. Oh, and I also love the 4 policies that she copied from Trump that are on her website. That's also great.
You're talking about the promoting fracking.
Oh, no, I like how she said that she promotes fracking, but then she said she didn't like it. So, beautiful.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I think those are exceptional reasons. You made a really strong case there.
Yeah, of course.
So I appreciate you jumping in here, man.
No problem, man.
All right, you take care. Drop
You
by
too,
anytime.
brother.
All right, later. All right, there. Ooh, my screen wasn't working for a second. A lot to think about there. A lot of facts brought up by Vexer. Sounds like Rogue Diego wants some more information. Pirate Princess Biden Harris gave money away. Yeah, love Vexer, says Ashley. Yeah, Vexer's getting a lot of shout outs here from folks. I have Trump flip flops all the time with his lies. Think about what she's saying. Nothing truth. Yeah, and, the thing that gets me though is, they talk about fear being a driver in elections and a motivator for people to act. The idea of being kind of taken advantage of is also another one, right? Where she says quite often, "I'm going to hold them accountable. Vote me in. I will hold them accountable." And she uses them in quite a few instances, and it's not anybody's pronoun. She's referring to the rich, right? She proposed a 25% unrealized gains tax that's going to cause massive sell-offs in the markets at different points in the year. And then what? So you got that money. What are you going to do with it? It's not going to go in the hands of the folks that actually voted for it. But the ones that you see on the screen there, I can't think of anything else but like an attempt to buy votes with that, right? I mean, it's a blatant tack to just, buy votes. I mean, I get it. If somebody's got student loan debt and they want it forgiven, I get it. Vote for Kamala, that'll happen. Right? New home buyers, entrepreneurs, not being very inclusive with that one. That one showed up on Bloomberg News this morning as a top item. But I don't know, all those things, it's like, where's that money going to come from? Because if you take all the assets and value that the billionaires in the United States have, and there's about 1,000 of them, if you take all of their assets away and you just have it in cash, you're only going to be able to run the U.S. government. I don't even know if you'll get half a year out of it, right? So when you think about things in those terms, and you hear people say, the problem here is you're going to run out of other people's money, that's what they're talking about. Because at some point, this way of doing things is no longer sustainable. I mean, what they're following right now is modern monetary theory that tells them you can print endlessly. It's no big deal. You can print as much as you want, and it's totally fine because you're the government and you're in control. I don't think it is exactly going to work like that. That's what campaigning is, host buying the voters. We'll print. Plenty of trees. There are plenty of trees. Although they don't print now, they just push a button and add zeros, and then magically it ends up in a bank somewhere. People need to talk about walls, pay attention to what's going on. What's going on, Rhonda, with walls? Kentucky for Trump, lock up Trump. But yeah, I'm interested. These are the things I'm looking at that don't make sense to me. Especially the retribution against people who are rich. People are rooting for that because she's saying, I'll tax them more, I'll take their money. And then what? They're not going to hand it to you. They're going to hand it to another rich person in the form of a government contract. So they're basically taking it from one wealthy person to another, or from, the hands of a wealthy person into their LLC that gets a contract. It's all just a game. Sissy Majors says she's not buying votes. I don't know how we can look at these top three things here. $3,500 for student loans, $2,500 for 25,000. I said 3,500. 35,000 for student loans, 25,000 for new homes, 20,000 for Black entrepreneurs. I don't know how that's not buying a vote. Yeah, the guy that's just flexing there. I don't like the exclusivity of that line item either. I don't think it's appropriate. I think it's just going to send us in the absolute wrong direction here. So if you have any thoughts on, because I'm interested in hearing like real stories and perspectives from folks, maybe get some content generation out of this. Like, tell me a compelling story or reason that you're voting for one of the candidates, not necessarily why you dislike the other one. I don't often hear that, and I'm not going to criticize. This is not a debate. I genuinely want to hear what this means for you, your life, how you believe this will benefit you. Corporations have a lot of things to write off taxes. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff. The tax structures are very complex. We need to simplify them, honestly. 25K for new homeowners is actually smart. Gave you that. You not comprehend the student loan situation? Nope. What is the student loan situation? I guess Max and Creek, how are you seeing it? Because I'll tell you my personal story, right? I went to college. I got a degree. I graduated. Every semester I wrote a check for my tuition. I worked during college. I bought my own books. They weren't online at that point in time. That was my story, that I paid for college, and I didn't have it at first, and I did earn a scholarship because I worked hard and got good grades. So, combination of things, I managed to pull it together and pay for college. Other people I know, they spent 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is, to pay off their student loan, and they're very proud of that. And I know people that did not go to college, and they're perfectly proud of that. They've done very well for themselves. Everybody takes a different path. So for those three scenarios, how come we have to foot the bill in the form of taxes to make up somebody else's deficit? Steven says taxes on corporations was at 38% during Obama. Obama created a lot of jobs. Oh, I'm sitting outside. I had to take my dog out, so I just got my microphone out here outside. Otherwise, I'd just check the numbers to see job creation over the years. If you're running your own business, I know you wouldn't hire a felon to work for you. Stats say online. Is it buying votes or vote for the candidate whose policies align with your interests? You know what, boy yeet world, you should go work for one of these campaigns because you spun that so well. That was beautiful. I mean, that's a work of art. Like after the debates, how they have the spin room where everyone goes in and they like tell the story that favor their candidate. I mean, that was remarkable. That's good stuff there. So I give you a sticker just for that. Which sticker shall I give you? You can get the American flag bull. There you go. Enjoy. Max Creek, you're so form. Nope. Also a veteran here. I had free college via my GI Bill, and I would rather pay higher taxes than send 20-year-old to war for it. Yeah, see, the thing is, I've got a kid in college now, and if the tax structures change, you're taking money out of my kid's pocket for their college that I'd like to give. Everything's cheaper when Trump was in office compared to when Biden came in. Yeah, Rogue, you're absolutely right with that. And I appreciate everybody that's hit the likes on the live here. Keep hitting them. See if I could get trending on the top charts here. I don't know. I never have. It'd be really cool if that happened someday, but I never have. Oops. All right. So the interesting thing is prices very likely are not going to go down. If we have deflation and prices do go down, that's a really bad scenario, because then corporations at some point might start asking employees to take pay cuts, and you'll have like less of a pay cut if you're a high performer, more of a pay cut if you're a low performer, so forth. That's not going to be fun. Yeah, but the prices are not going to go down. At this point, they're going up less quickly, and so the real balance here to counter this is, how do you enable wage growth in such a fashion that markets and business can continue to sustain and grow? One thing that's caused an absolute, out of balance situation with our markets has been inflation. You look at the valuations of these companies, NVIDIA, that everybody's really hot about because they create all the AI chips out there. What is it? Oh, I don't have my computer in front of me, but say they, their annual revenue, right, came back and say it was like $20 billion or $60 billion. Which sounds like a ton of money, right? And their valuation, they're $1 trillion company. That's the value of that company. But then you have other companies that are in an industrial sector that their annual revenue exceeds 300 million. And yet they have half the valuation for their company, right? And that's a clear example of how things in the market are starting to get overvalued. And it's starting to feel like the .com situation. So when that balance does tip, and how do you get people in a position to be able to be in, good jobs and have the right education and resources to thrive in what comes next? And so you got to think of who's better suited to doing that. Somebody that's going to say like, hey, guess what? I'm just going to keep providing for you. I'm the government. I'm here to help. I'm just going to keep providing for you. I'll give you another subsidy. I'll give you one more subsidy. I'll relieve that loan. I'll give you $20,000 to start a business, $25,000 to buy a home. And yet the cycle of overvaluation in markets and inflation and so forth continues. But don't worry, because more and more stuff is going to be provided by the government. This is the course that is being taken, and eventually that money is going to lose its value, like on an absolute level. And we're just not going to be in a position to do anything then. So if you want to hit the guest button, jump in live. I'm curious if folks can kind of give their top reason why they're voting for a given candidate. Not a debate, just want to have some clear articulation for the folks that are listening in as to what's your number one issue, what's driving your vote. Probably wondering, well, for me, what it is, and it's some of the things that you see on there. It's economic policy and taxes. I guess that all gets wrapped into the same thing. That's what matters to me, because if I don't have confidence that somebody can take appropriate action, or they continue to take short-term action that kicks the can down the road another 5-10 years, I don't feel comfortable with that anymore. We've been doing that for the last 20 years now, it seems. So Trump's buying votes. I'm just scanning the comments real quick. Trump's buying votes when he says no tax on tips, I guess, on Social Security. So the difference there is you're talking tens of dollars or hundreds of dollars at most versus tens of thousands of dollars. The scale of it is massive, right? I gotta get Trump is investigated. Wait, so Trump is buying votes when he says no tax on top, or on tips, and no tax. Okay, yeah, we talked about that already. Oops, Trump being investigated. The Clinton family found nothing. Inflation's currently at 2.4. National average is supposed to be 2. Yeah, that's the target, to get it down to 2. And they've now forecasted that they're going to start cutting interest rates, so they're actually seeing it probably dip down even lower below that. Kelly, may I ask what company market you work for? I assume you're asking me. I won't state the company. I am in oil and gas. I'm in one of the largest oil and gas companies in the world. This is who I work for. It's supposed to be interesting. So if you guys have any questions on energy, I can give you my perspective, and it'll just be my perspective on things. Because I spend a lot of time watching the news and paying attention to, to think about what's going on in the markets. Billionaires get incentives all the time. How often has it ever been 2%? I don't know. I could speak to GDP more clearly than rate of inflation over time. I don't know. I think there was a period of time where it was like almost close to 0. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just outside with my dog here. I can't look it up, otherwise I'd tell you there, Edwin. More right-wing extremist rhetoric from the MAGA club. Interesting. An incentive when rich people get it, but socialism when poor people get it. Are you talking about the tax relief? And we were talking about tips and overtime. That's not something that is applied to rich folks. I want a unified country. I don't want a dictator. Trump is buying their votes. Government doesn't have money now, and it was wasted on. Trump is proposing extending his current tax structure, the current one that's in place, having that extended, and then taking a step further. There's also a simplification of the IRS that's being proposed out there, which that'd be wonderful. And there's also a government efficiency office that has been proposed, which I think would be phenomenal because, no business out there runs like the government does. There are pockets where it's super efficient, and we need to acknowledge that and replicate it and learn from it. But it's not happening, all the way around. That's where you get those $10,000 hammers and all those stories coming in. Olu, you want to comment? There should be a guest button at the bottom if you see it. Trump is buying vote. You're whacked. Apparently, he doesn't have the same level of money as this level of vote buying. Whoa! I just lost a bunch of comments, guys. Billionaires pay triple in taxes to the country. Yeah, so the top 1% pay 40% of all taxes. How come I can't? There should be a guest button. Have you been banned from lives, Olu? Do you have like a strike on your account? Sometimes they might disable it for a period of time. Biden drilling more than Trump. It's actually not Biden drilling. So what's happened is over time, you get more efficient and effective with how quickly you drill. Drilling, say, 1,000 feet can happen in quite a bit less time than it had in the past. And as you keep reducing those cycle times, and as you come up with new techniques to recover the oil and gas that's there, you can recover more out of the reservoirs and do that safely and in an environmentally safe way. You start to produce more and more and more. So each well that, say, produced 100,000 a day now jumps up to 110, 115, right? And that accumulates pretty quickly. So a lot of it is ingenuity and advancement in the technology in that space to be able to do this more effectively. But there's just a recognition that they need to continue getting more and more efficient to be sustained long term. OPEC has reduced their forecast of oil and gas demand through the end of the year, as well as next year, I believe. So that's kind of a foreshadowing of some global economic downturns to come. Does Trump really have American citizens' interests? I think he does. You worked for 50 years and struggled to buy a house. If Kamala gets... that's a good one. The scale is massive. Was a top paid office manager for a major corporate company. Senator from the White House. Who pays for all the Kamala handouts? Taxpayers. And Kamala says she's looking at... Oh, sorry. I just skipped like 20 questions here. Yeah, it was interesting. So that 20,000 to black entrepreneurs, the page on, or the graphic that they had on Bloomberg News said that she's making a push right now to appeal towards, black voters. And they listed a few different things on there. This was one of them that they listed as items that she's, proposing to be supportive of the community. Halliburton changing the U.S. government, $50. Charging, yeah, it's that kind of stuff. But it's Biden administration, right? Oh, I didn't know we got more permits in California. I didn't think we had more going through. If Trump loses this election, there will be a repeat. I hope not. I hope people like keeping 20 cents out of every dollar. Biden closed the Alaska pipeline. Well, remember when he did go to Saudi Arabia, they told him no, right? And there's a video of him getting the message, and he just kind of like, the life just drops out of him. He's like in total disbelief that they didn't go along with his demands. And it's like, we're not in any position to negotiate there. I might be missing something, Edward. You've repeated a few times, but it's under the Biden administration, right? I don't know if it's to me or to somebody else you're talking to, but I might be missing something here. Oh, I don't know. It's not letting me hit a button to bring you up either. Rogue, no more comments like that, okay? That's a no bueno. Biden reduced leasing on federal lands. Thought the Alaskan pipeline is fine. Who's doing the vice president job duties right now? Well, the answer is nobody. Oops, just lost my screen here. Trump did lose once and he will lose again. MAGAs just like to complain. Okay. I don't know, but Trump froze on stage for about 30 minutes, looking lost, while 4 songs played. Okay. Did you catch that on Rachel Maddow or something? Oh man, these comments flipped on me again. He's a child. Looks like a decent list. A decent list of stuff that you would want. $2 billion to Trump's son-in-law. Stock market is strong right now. It is overvalued though. The valuations of these companies are way out of line. The stock prices should go up because of profits increasing, right? I mean, if you think inflation will trickle through them, they would have higher revenues, higher earnings, and those earnings times the multiples that they trade at would allow for higher stock prices. But when you've got companies trading at 40 and 50 times, future earnings, and that's the key word, future, because they're expecting something to happen in the future. When you got a lot of companies in that state, there's a lot of room to crash at that point. That's what makes me uncomfortable. I felt better in the 20s with a lot of things, but once you hit 30s, a little uneasy, and now it's like, I don't know. We're just asking for it. Hey, what's going on, L. Matthews? Short the Trump stock. It's not overvalued. Don't think the market's overvalued. Stock buybacks. Yeah, I don't like the buybacks. To me, buybacks are kind of weak. I mean, either put it in a dividend and just pay it out to shareholders for them to invest it somewhere and pay the taxes on it. Buying back seems kind of weak to me. You can't figure out a better use of the money. Pay the dividend to the shareholders is my view of it. Otherwise, buying back the stock is like every year you issue a bunch of stock to the executives in the company. You create a bunch of stock and issue it to them, and then you start buying it back in the market. It's like, it seems like a conflict there. I don't know. I don't like buybacks at this point. I get why they do them. It's been a thing that's been around, but from a principle standpoint, I don't like buybacks. What's my stance on voting for Trump? Economic policy, tax policy, simplification of government. Those are the big things that I have a focus on. Trying to get the pocketbook right. I was false about stock. Where'd you get your so-called degree in economics? Oh, I never said I had a degree in economics. What part of overvaluations was incorrect? Buyback is so a lot of companies announce buyback programs that will continue for years, and they're trying to set a floor for the price of their stock. You see it more with mature companies that don't have major growth prospects. They become like an income stock, providing a dividend. You see it more and more of those types of companies. Tech companies, I don't know, is Google doing one? Yeah, I was going to say, maybe once they get very massive and it's difficult for them to continue to scale up, maybe that would happen, but I don't know. Yeah, recession seems to be on the horizon. Tax cuts, trickle-down economics, simplification of pocketbooks, simplification of government. He refuses to pay overtime. Fake hypocrite Trump. Can I join this all? Hey, I'm gonna Sog. Hang on a second. I'll get you up here. I just got to bring my dog back inside and get seated again. Come on, let's go. Get in. Just hang on with me for a second while I get her a little snack. Almost done. And I didn't think we had mosquitoes left outside, but I got a few bites there. It's supposed to be cooling off, I thought, but today was pretty hot. I guess that's why the mosquitoes came back out. Anyway. Whoa. Kind of fell there. Let me get my setup back up and planning here. Hang on, folks. Where's my clip? Sorry for all the microphone noises. I dropped my mic. I don't know what side's forward now. Okay, got it. All right, there we go. All right, so sorry, it took me a minute to get there. Hey, Sog, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. So I assume you're voting for Kamala Harris?
No, I'm voting for Trump.
Ah, so you're voting for Trump.
Yep.
And what is your main reason for voting for Trump?
Tax policy, economic agenda, simplification of government. It's those sorts of things that are at the top of my list of importance. But tonight, what I'm really interested in is, something that I don't hear people talk enough about is, people, why, exactly what you asked me, what is it about the candidate you're voting for that's driving you to them? You can talk about how that helps you personally, how you align with, something that they stand for. Just like a top thing. We don't have to go down every single thing on their list, but
yeah, for sure.
I just want to get real stories from people because a lot of lives, it just starts debating and doesn't really go anywhere. You know what I mean?
I got you. Well, I could tell you a little bit about my views, and it's a little unique because I am a conservative.
Yep.
I don't like Trump, at least this recent campaign of Trump. I'm not a fan of. I like the 2016 campaign a lot. I think he's drifted away from that quite a bit. And in all reality, my vote really doesn't matter. In New York, if I had to vote, obviously I probably would vote for Trump, but I'm definitely not motivated to vote for Trump.
Okay. So who are you voting for then?
I'm probably going to opt to not vote just because I'm in New York and it really doesn't make a difference. If I had to vote, it would be Trump, but this is definitely my least favorite campaign of his. Just with all the rhetoric, just with all the things that I think he's grifting on in comparison to his earlier campaigns. Just when it comes to Israel, when it comes to abortion, when it comes to promoting Christian values and stuff like that, I don't think he's meeting the mark.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough, I guess. Any closing thoughts for the group?
Well, I guess I have questions for you, not really debate questions, but just your view. Do you think this Trump is the same Trump of 2016, campaign wise and policy wise?
Some stuff shifted. It's not the same.
What do you like the changes? Do you not like the changes? What do you think?
I guess I'm indifferent to him at this point, right? His stance on abortion has changed. I mean, we got to be honest about that, right? He was very clearly anti, and so now he's kind of backed off of that. I'm trying to think. I mean, on the social program level, there's certain things that I hear him wanting to do now that he would not have. I can't think of a good example, unfortunately, but there's certain things that would not be a fiscally conservative type action,
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So, for just a moment off of TikTok, unfortunately.
I personally wouldn't actually mind if Trump went more fiscally liberal but he doubled down on being more socially conservative. I have no problem with the Scandinavian model of economics as long as we close our borders, which we're definitely not getting closed borders under Trump. That's definitely not going to happen.
Yeah. But hey, Sog, I appreciate you jumping up here and kind of telling people where you're at with things.
Cool. Talk to you. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye. All right. Next up, we have, I think it was Elizabeth. Yes, Elizabeth.
Yes, I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
All right. So what's on your mind? What's
What's on my mind, to be honest with you, is that ever since he came down the escalator, the one thing that I've always paid attention to Trump was that he was always, how can I put this? He's like a used car salesman, okay? He'll take an old car, give it a new paint job, and say, here you go, it's brand new. And what bothers me about Trump is he never really, even in his other campaigns, he never really actually had policies. Like, if you ever pay attention to it and the things that he says and the things that he does, he's more of a grifter than he is an actual presidential candidate. Because you're talking about the whole United States. You're not talking about one section of people. You're not talking about one small area. No, you're talking about a whole big country. And you're saying that you want to impose tariffs, you want to do this. Look, Ronald Reagan tried trickle-down economics. You see how that worked for him? It didn't work at all. And even when Trump did his little tax cuts for the rich, we didn't get no points of that. We were still suffering, still paying more than billionaires did in our taxes.
Hey, let me ask you. So what's a positive thing that's driving you to vote for Kamala? Because I'm assuming you're voting for Kamala.
Well, what got me voting for Kamala Harris is the fact that she makes actual sense. When she speaks, she doesn't trail off into weird tangents. And what she says by an educated mind makes perfect sense. She's not going off. She's not grifting. She's not doing any of that. She's speaking directly to the person. And not only that, like what think about it. She made all these predatory banks. She made them pay in California for those housing loans that they did. She actually works for the actual common man, where Donald Trump actually, when people wanted overtime and stuff at his companies, even contractors, look it up, he fired them instead of paying them. This man has never been for the common man. He's always been for the people that look out for him. And the common man don't have enough money to look out for him.
So the reason that you're voting for Kamala is that she makes sense?
No. It's more than that. What I'm saying, I'm dumbing it down so the people in the chat can understand, because some of them really, yeah. But
I think they're all right. They can follow you.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, when you look at it from a strategic standpoint, what Kamala is saying, Kamala is saying, is that she wants to actually make billionaires pay their fair share. They have not paid their fair share. And that's why we, as regular Americans, have to pay so much. Now, they want to sit there and blame.
Can I ask you a question on that?
What?
What would constitute a fair share?
Well, let's see. How much on average do you think they pay in taxes?
Between 0 to 20%.
And how much do you think we pay in taxes?
Well, I know pretty much what I pay. I know it pretty clearly.
I pay at least $3,000 in taxes. And there's billionaires who pay zero. So my point exactly, after he put those new tax laws in to give his buddies a break, we are the ones left footing the bill. I'm a single mother of 3 kids, and I have to shell out $3,000 plus. Okay, while these people who have billions of dollars pay nothing. Now you tell me, how does that make sense? How does he go to Mar-a-Lago and say, you're rich as hell and I'm going to give you more tax cuts?
I agree.
How does that make sense?
We need to change this graduated tax income tax system.
Even with its income tax system.
I think if we had a flat tax, it would work out a lot better.
No, not really. Because you got to look at what I'm saying here. in order for our country to operate smoothly like it was under Clinton, they had to pay more money. Under Obama, they had to pay more money, and both of those economies were good. They were in the black. Once his stuff got implemented and started going, that's when our economy started tanking. Then the pandemic hit. At the tail end of his presidency is when the Obama administration stuff stopped and his stuff got implemented. So now when y'all want to complain about living costs and all of that and all the food and all of that, first of all, inflation is all over the world, not just here in America. We are not an isolated incident. That's first thing. Second thing is, at the end of the day, Donald Trump did not do anything but send tests that we desperately needed here in America to Vladimir Putin. He sent those tests for COVID.
If I
Okay,
could go back
he
to
has
the
never
original
worked.
intent. Can you remind
What
me
I'm
again
saying is
the
he's
things that you're
never-
driving. That's driving you.
What
to
I'm
vote for
driving
Kamala?
at is this man only cozies up to people that humor him. He only relates to people who are like him.
Well, so what are the
Okay,
things that's
and
driving you
we
to
are
vote for
not
Kamala?
like him. We are literally the
you-
American regular people.
What's driving you to vote for Kamala then? 'Cause
What's
you-
driving me to vote for Kamala is basic common sense. How can I sit there and keep paying this extra money when these people who have loads of money are barely paying anything? Tell me, how does that make sense? Please, I want you to justify that.
That's the graduated income tax system that's been in place for decades and decades.
No. When Trump changed the tax laws,
Yeah.
he is the one that implemented that.
Wait a
He's
minute,
the
hold
one
on a
who
second.
changed it. Because before
how
Trump
did
got
he
into
change it?
office,
How
when
did he
he
change
got
it?
into office, excuse me, can I finish?
Go ahead.
When he got into office, before he got in there, right, I was getting nice income taxes. When he got into office, my income taxes shrank closer to the end of his presidency. Why? Because Barack Obama's, what he had left of his, ran out. The expiration ran out, and then Trump stuff was enacted. That's what we're living through now. Okay, so people can't blame Biden and Harris for what Trump has done. When people want to talk about borders is not going to work because Trump didn't want the borders even secured because he wanted to run for it. That's why he literally shot down the border bill that was literally created by a Republican for that one reason, to secure the border. But he said to MAGA Mike that he wanted the border shut down.
All right. So, hey, listen,
Harris has always
listen, you've
looked out
gotten,
for
like-
the common man.
you've gotten like a bunch of stuff that you talked about as to why Trump is bad. I still don't know very much about.
Kamala Harris is a true, genuine woman. Okay, she literally has more experience in this field than he does, hands down. Okay, she knows how to deal with people. She knows how to talk and articulate. She will not sit there and basically get laughed at like he was. He made us the laughing stock of the world. And to be
What news
honest
channels
with
do you
you,
watch? Just curious.
I watch Fox, I watch ABC, I watch all of them. So this isn't I only watch this. No, I watch them all.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm sitting there getting my news from only one feed. No, I'm getting it from all of them. And the general consensus is that, to be honest with you, when we had him as a president, even when he addressed the UN, they laughed at him because they knew he was full of shit.
All right. Hey, tell you what, I need to give somebody else an opportunity to get up here. I appreciate you having such passion and, expressing some of your thoughts, and I hope, people take that into consideration.
All right, bye.
I'll leave you with, thanks, but I'll leave you with one thing to say that take a look at what the tax code was in 2016 and what it is now. You're actually paying less taxes. And if you want a direct source, the IRS is it. All right. let's jump into another person here. And I apologize to the group here. I didn't want to argue, but I was trying to ask questions to understand. Hey, Emmanuel, how are you? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you right now.
All right, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm speaking speaking from Nigeria. Following the U.S. elections pretty closely, and just wanted to throw in, get in here, and I heard the last person to go live, and as someone who lives outside the United States, he's not wrong. He is absolutely not wrong. To be honest, most people I know see Donald J. Trump as more of entertainment. Sometimes it's sad because I do have family in the United States. I have a lot of family in the United States, and sometimes it gets sad, sometimes it gets scary for them. But I do not believe that I have no skin in the game, but I don't believe that Trump is the best person for the United States in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Well, I guess in the same vein, just sticking with the theme, is there a reason beneficial to you or that you would believe is beneficial to Americans to vote for Kamala?
Well, I believe she's a bit more articulate about what she wants to do. Although, like every politician, like we have our own politicians here who talk a whole lot of shit and sorry for the French, and half the things they never do, but then it's still politics. But when politics in itself has a visceral reaction with people, like people take action on certain rhetoric politicians actually say and do, then it becomes dangerous. Then it becomes very scary. So I wouldn't say it's what Kamala, because she has never been president. So if you're going by the records of Joe Biden, I have my own opinions about that. But from what I'm only judging the two candidates are what they are now, not as anyone is president at the moment, but what they are now, what has been done in the past. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
So beneficial in the sense that it's just chaos. I feel right now that Trump represents chaos and Kamala doesn't. That's how at least the barest minimum of benefits I can see. I can talk about.
Yeah,
we can go deeper if you want, but that's like on the surface level. It's chaos.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm gonna have to keep it on the surface. I want to give some other folks a chance to kind of give their thoughts as well. But I appreciate you, kind of expressing your thought process here with the group.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Manuel. Take care. All right. Who's up next? Cold Rap Star. All right.
Hello.
Hey, Cold Rap Star. How are you?
I'm doing great. I wanna share my thoughts regarding the upcoming elections in the United States.
Okay.
I think, in my own opinion, Kamala Harris is the best option. The reason why is because if we take the opposition for her, which is Trump, you can see that he constantly tries to be friends with North Korea, with Russia, like with the countries where it's a dictatorship. I think it is not good for the country which has democracy, for the country which shares like freedom, etc. I believe that United States, even till nowadays, this is the country that should be and which is an example for all world regarding the democracy. If you take Trump's like speeches regarding like the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, right? He says that like we should stop like supporting them, like we should stop like spending money on them and etc. But in the reality, if we be smart, you will understand that, for example, United States does not give money to Ukraine. Instead, it gives like the pieces of metal, which is called weapons, and therefore it empty its like warehouses where these weapons are located, and therefore more jobs can be available for like making like a new weapons. So when it comes to the internal problems in the United States, like many people around the world, they want to like get into the United States, right? I think there is nothing bad in it, because as more people try to get into the United States, as more people can pay taxes, and therefore something more can be built. Here is said that 35K for student loans, blah, blah, blah. Well, I think this. Donald Trump, he has been already a president, right? Which is true. He said that he was gonna like build like a wall in the borders with Mexico, right? I understand that it's actually important, but in the same time, under Donald Trump, it was really hard to get to the United States, which is true. I'm saying it as the foreigner.
Hey, if you don't mind me asking, where are you calling from?
Well, I'm
where are
calling
you joining the live from? I'm always
actually, I'm calling from Ukraine, but I'm not in Ukraine at all right now. I'm currently in North Carolina.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, like, in my opinion, like, Western world, like, which is represented by United States, like Kamala Harris can be like the best option. Obviously, she has never been a president. She has never, like, we cannot say that she has done something or yes or no, whatever. But look, why would United States be friends with a countries which have dictatorship? Like, for example, what the point of the United States be friends with North Korea? Like, for real.
Let me, I guess, let me just, I want to give opportunity to some other folks to kind of share their thoughts as well. So your number one thing, so you're advising people to vote for Kamala, and the number one reason is?
Okay, we'll say the number one reason is for her position regarding not only like the United States, but also the right alliance with countries which wanna have democracy.
So from a foreign policy standpoint, more or less.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very nice. That's, I think, something that I don't hear enough of. Yes, a lot more concern on other topics, but I appreciate you sharing that with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Let me see. That would be, well, I'm losing some of these comments, guys. Let him speak. Did I not? I hope I wasn't talking over him. That'd be Trump for tax breaks for the rich. Anyone with a brain can figure that out. So I really don't understand this misconception of the tax code changes that were implemented. I think 2018, maybe it was 2017. That was 2018. But I don't understand this misconception of them being for the rich, because, you know, the scale is graduated. It goes like 10%, 12%, you know, I don't remember the whole thing, 20%, 24%, 32, 37, right? Depending on your income level. Every one of those levels actually went backwards like a couple percentage points. Maybe even the lowest one went backwards like 5. Did it start at 15? I can't remember. I'm outside again. My dog needs to go out. So I don't have my computer in front of me. But those tax brackets went downward for everybody. And then if you look at a scenario where you think of a family or just a married couple making $30,000 a year, the rate they pay is lower. But on top of that, the standard deduction was more than doubled. It's at $27,000 right now. So if you're earning $30,000, $27,000 of it does not have any tax taken on from it. And then when you add in earned income tax credit and, you know, a few other things, your tax liability could potentially go to zero, where you don't pay taxes at all. And so you think about that, and it's like for the first $30,000 of income for folks, no taxes. And anything above that, the tax rate has decreased. And he doubled the child tax credit. So if you're a family of 4, you get, you know, not $4,000, but you get $8,000. It went from $1,000 to $2,000. So, I mean, a lot of things were done like that I don't know why gets missed by folks. That was Trump's tax code. That's what's in place right now. And so if it's not renewed, the folks making 30 grand a year, the standard deduction will be cut in half. All of a sudden, half of their income is liable for tax, you know, at a rate of 10%. So what's that, 1,500, potentially 2,000-ish, I don't know, that they'd have to start paying in tax. Child tax credit gets cut in half if they had kids. So, I mean, I don't get that disconnect. She's a better candidate, says Edward. She's a traitor, says, man, this is some good stuff here, guys. It's my country. I'll say what I want. All right, Eddie. I see a lot of laughing in here. I don't know what's going on. Why didn't she do it in the last 4 years? I don't know. All of a sudden they got really serious about the border 6 months before the election. It's a miracle. Under Trump. And if anybody wants to jump up on the live Ask Up, just want to hear, I hope we'll get somebody that can say, like, I'm voting for person A. I think their economic policies will help my family. Okay, wonderful. As opposed to kicking off with, demonizing the opposition. I'll never vote for Kamala. Trump out, says Tamara. All right, just for that, you're going to get a Kamala sticker, Tamara. You get a bunch of Kamala stickers. Kamala supports Hollywood elites. Trump supporters are scary. Well, Elizabeth, just for that, I'm going to give you JD Vance stickers. How about that? You thought they were scary? Take a look at those stickers. Y'all tend to get into your feelings, but do have to be respectful as an adults. Okay? Unsecured borders. Master Blaster, come on, man. Why didn't she? Okay. I'll never vote for Kamala. Trump out of the election. All those things listed are fantastic. Yeah, but you're taking money out of my pocket to do it. Don't do it. I want to keep my money. MFN, she has talked about that. I'm not going to approve your comment because I don't want that topic to surface, but she has said she's going to approve it, which is very interesting because that herb that goes up in smoke, there's like a lot of, that basically ended her political campaign in 2016 when Tulsi Gabbard called her out on the time she was DA and her enforcement of laws at that time and how it, ruined a lot of people's lives just for simple possession. And now it's over. Trump supporters are scary. Oh no, come on. She's proposing much better. The bottom 50% hold less than 3% of all wealth. I don't think that's right. Top 1% is that. Top 1. I don't think it's the bottom 50. I thought it was more like the bottom 20. No, it has to be more than that. That's it. I got to look into that. I don't remember. I just don't think it's 50. Maybe it's 30. I don't know. We could live comfortably under Trump, way more comfortably than we do. Yeah, it's the truth. Now there's a disparity between the rate of inflation and wages not keeping up with inflation. I mean, people have probably seen their paychecks go up, but it has not gone up at a level that would have sustained the same standard of living, let alone being an actual raise to improve your standard of living. Half my husband's check goes to taxes, so yeah, thanks, Trump. No, maybe 3/4 of it went before. Actually, it's not your country. Europe is your country. Oh. She wasn't president. Trump also limited deductions for mortgages and taxes. All right, so, people talk about the mortgage one, right? Those are actually the same thing. Mortgages, the interest is not limited. It's the income tax, the property tax you pay that is capped at $10,000. And so people will be like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. He capped it at $10,000. I could have claimed, $25,000 or whatever it might have been. In order for you to exceed that cap of $10,000, so like property taxes around the country average about 1%. Where I'm at, it's like practically 3%. It's ridiculous, but they average about 1%. And in order for you to hit that cap of 10,000, that means you have a property that's worth $1 million. So think about that. Average home price used to be 200,000. Now it's 400,000. You're still not hitting that cap. So think about that. Who's really targeted with that? It's hitting me, right? It's hitting folks that are, a little bit well off. Like I'm having to pay the bill. Like that was an action that Trump took to kind of, make sure that there's revenue coming in from certain social demographics. Let me see if I can get through. Oh my gosh, 32 comments. I'm just behind. Buying votes. Okay, advanced stickers. Whoa. A feminine phenomenon, says Ashley. Very good song. I will give you a sticker. That is a happy bull. What's your favorite song of hers, Ashley? Talking about Chappell Roan. What's your favorite song? I kind of like California. Next wave of inflation is inbound. I sure hope not. Jason Fools. Latinas for Trump. No, it was less. Taken out before. Chickens for KFC. Is that somebody's name? Is that what you're saying? You're voting against your own interests. I guess you're talking about me with the property tax thing. Overall, I've got a little bit less tax, but it would be nice if they'd bump that up a little bit with how much mortgage or home prices have gone up. They need to adjust that a little bit. How's she going to pay for all this? Delusional. Well, listen, guys, the budget has to balance at the end of the day, right? And they can either do that by raising revenue or by printing, because that's just the way things are. The budget has to balance. When the fiscal policy of what the politicians try to put together, they can't come up with a decent budget and make things work. The monetary side, or the treasury, has to print. And they just push a button and magically there's more dollars in the system. I think the world's richest country can't afford it. For more than take you out of the year. Ashley, hope I didn't miss your favorite song. Hey, Maury, well, you can't make assumptions. Don't know what your party's dirt. My income has not decreased. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, Gregory. I hope it continues to increase. Cow, one night with whole panel talked. Oh, no. What are you talking about? Oh, hey. I'm so busy reading the comments here. Uh-oh, it's working. Trying to get you up here. And I used to have like larger panels. It just got a little bit out of control on me. So I'm trying to just do, a smaller group at a time. Juice, I hope it gets you here. Property tax isn't federal. That's right, it's not federal, but it can be deducted off your federal income tax. She claims that she... Either money... I haven't seen the list. I haven't seen the video where he calls... Oh. You can't change the people, vote on facts.
TikTok's terrible now.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, buddy? TikTok's terrible now. Now it'll make you go in between two lives. If you talk into a live, it'll like do a half and half screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Sounds like a little bug they got there. They didn't...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Throws you out.
Well, they trying to, but I was just going to say, bro, you were never going to change anybody's votes, which we're not trying to do, but kind of a little bit.
I'm just trying to get people to,
more informed.
Also for tonight, my theme's been like, okay, tell me the reason you're voting for your candidate. Like, what's the top one? And a lot of folks have struggled. They turn like, well, Trump's a felon. Well, this is bad. It's like, well, okay, well, what's driving you towards this other person?
How about this? I can say something that you probably don't know.
Go ahead.
The Save the Seas Act.
Did you say the CZ?
Save the Seas Act.
Oh, Save the Seas. Excuse me. Gotcha.
And that's one crazy awesome thing Trump did for the environment. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
That's 100% what it's called. Save the Seas Act, bro. It's funny. But they only speak on feelings. So all the facts that you spew, which is great because, we all like facts and stuff. But like most of the informed people, they all know it. 100%. And that you already know who they're voting for.
Yeah.
But the people that aren't voting for that person only vote on feelings. So you got to change your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because they won't look at the facts ever.
I'm with you. And it's the other aspect, it comes in different kind of forms, right? The one of them is like, I'm going to hold people accountable, and they're always talking about rich and wealthy. I will tax them. They're going to pay their fair share. And people get riled up. The group gets riled up like, yeah. But then what are they going to do with that money? It's not, they're not going to hand it to you.
Watch, it's very simple. You know how they say tariffs are bad because it's going to go back to the consumers because, it costs the companies money.
Huh?
But if we tax them, it's not going to go to the consumers and it's not going to cost us money. Yeah. Like it's simple. Everything in life is so that simple. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they literally say.
Yeah.
They say that tariffs is going to go back down to the consumers. And then they say if they tax people, all the people that are, donating to a certain party, if they tax them, it's not going to go to the consumers.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, thanks for the gift. I got you next coming up here.
Well, let them come up. Yeah. Let's all have a conversation on cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to just do one at a time here because I just have not been successful having more than one person at a time lately.
A lot of people yell.
So I'm just trying to chat a little bit with folks individually.
Gotcha, brother.
Just kind of, but the Save the Seas Act, very critical because a lot of people have been talking environment is their big thing, right? And it's like, okay, I get that. You know, nobody wants water to be messed up or.
How come they never passed the law until Trump came in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 100% that's real, the Save the Seas Act.
Yep. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to write that down, keep it in my back pocket.
Yeah, that's 100% ammo's ammo, but it's truth. Because here's the whole thing. They're running on the TikTok's awesome, the AB stuff right now. But they don't know what the 10th Amendment is. The 10th Amendment basically says federal government can't supersede state law. How are they ever going to get it back from all 52 states?
Yeah, that's going to have to be an amendment.
They can't do it. It's done and over with. They can't do it ever again.
It's just near impossible at this point.
Well, it's all 52 states got to go, okay.
Yep.
It's the 10th Amendment. Literally says basically federal government can't supersede state law.
Yeah.
But it's a pipe dream. Student loan forgiveness. I swear to God, the mighty duck man. How many student loans were forgiven in 2020?
I don't know.
Well, not, I would say not many, buddy. But that's what they ran on. That was their big spiel.
Yeah.
But you can't change people's view with facts, because the facts are black and white. It's either right or it's wrong.
Yeah.
But feelings,
they live
can be a gray area. Yeah. You have a good day, buddy.
All right, man. Yeah, you take care of yourself. All right. Well, I appreciate Juice jumping up here. I'm missing Jason. Tried to send him a invite. See if he wants to jump in here. I'll get Chris here. Got next. Hey, Chris.
Hey.
What's going on?
0.
Nothing's going on?
No. 0 student loans were forgiven.
Oh, in 2020?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I know there were these programs that have technically been in place out there, but I had no idea how much runs through the system or not, you know? What are your thoughts? Who's your candidate, and what's the primary drive to elect that person for you?
Honestly, let me turn my radio down. Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, you mentioned the student loans. 0 were forgiven.
In 2020.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, outside of the public service program. No, I'm sorry. You kind of pissed me off.
Okay.
Yeah. Military got forgiven. Public service got forgiven. Health got forgiven. Healthcare. Public healthcare services. You got to do 10 years of service. 10 years.
Uh-huh. And so those were the mechanisms that have been in place, right?
Yeah, since Reagan.
Right. Now we have a scenario of expanding that to people who did not necessarily make those types of contributions or sacrifices.
No, that didn't happen.
It's not?
No, that did not happen.
So when they said that they've forgiven, I can't remember, like, there's a few million student loans, average student loan forgiven was $35,000. Who was that given to?
Nobody. That didn't happen.
So when Kamala came out in the press and said that herself, because that's something that they're really pushing, like, hey, we're making a difference.
Excuse me, sir. Kamala.
All right, dude. All right. You know, one thing that bugs me is folks that are a little bit too sensitive in particular. I mean, if I was about to say, hey, fella, I feel like you would have been like, you know, how dare you assume my gender? But that's okay. That's okay. I wish you well. I hope you have good fortune and, you know, have a good evening. But I'm just not in the mood. All right. Let's get somebody else up here. Randy, how are you doing?
Hey, good morning. It's 1 o'clock. I'm in line to the USA right now, and I freaking screwed up. I should have took the general lane. I took the ready lane. How long?
Oh, kind of fell out of the picture there.
I've been in line. I'm sorry, I was checking my timer on my clock. I've been in line for 16 minutes. Hopefully it goes a little faster.
You're waiting in line where at again, you said?
I'm San Ysidro border on my way to the U.S.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're just kind of, you just go, just have an evening out?
No. So I'm a disabled veteran, retired from the military. I moved to Mexico a couple of years, in 2022.
Uh-huh.
So I got 2 houses down here in Mexico.
Okay.
You want to hear that? You want to hear the ironic thing is?
What's that?
I'm an illegal in Mexico.
Okay. Yeah.
You know how it is?
What?
It's because I moved everything here and got a house without doing any paperwork. And then I went and got another house. So I got 2 houses down here.
Okay.
2 houses down here for about $800.
Oh, wow.
A month. Yeah.
I'll take 10. Jeez.
You know what I mean? It's no, down here, like, both my houses are in gated communities.
Uh-huh.
The one by the beach is not so much secure as the one over at in the desert area.
Uh-huh.
In the desert area, I got there's probably maybe 800 to 1,000 houses. It's about the size of a little smaller than the Navy base here in San Diego.
Yeah.
But it's, we got a whole community there. A couple liquor stores where I go to pay my bills. And it's just, it's not too bad.
Okay. All right.
But,
so you're living the life here.
Well, and then I just got a couple jobs in the U.S.
Okay.
So I'm on my way. One of my jobs, I take care of disabled veterans.
All right. Nice. Yeah. Cool.
And the other job is security. So I got to go do my security job right now at 4 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully get a couple hours of sleep.
Yeah. Oh, geez. And you just kind of checking out TikTok to while you're waiting there across the border for entertainment here.
For entertainment, my kid set up my TikTok for me. Something to do during the line. Said, "Oh yeah, Dad, you'll have no problem. Give you something to do." So, and then I posted some videos. I've been doing it since I moved down here.
Okay.
And I don't know who people don't think Trump's wall is amazing, man. Trump's wall is freaking amazing. And and being on this side of the border, you can see it. And then also Mexico built a fence in front of the wall in some areas.
No kidding.
Yeah, you people don't. I posted on my TikTok on my videos, and then also like Sound of Freedom. I don't know if you guys watch Sound of Freedom. I also posted a video in TikTok like, oh, it says it goes against their community standards.
Yeah.
Posted a video of a kid being taken.
Yeah.
And I was the one who filmed it, and I was like, crap. So as soon as I seen what's going on, I took the pictures, all the information, and gave it to the customs when I got up to the line.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they were able to investigate and see what happened. But you can watch it in my video. It's crazy. Freaking too crazy. Yeah, but so you guys are, how are you voting? You voting for Trump or Harris?
Well, yeah, I'm voting for Trump, but I guess with your situation, what do you do to go vote? Where's your precinct?
Oh yeah, no, I'm voting in San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I still maintain addresses over here for my licenses.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, no, for medical and for security, I have my licenses are over here in San Diego.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm voting for Trump all the way. It's like anyone that votes for Harris is like dumb. Let me tell you, her border policy is stupid, and the people that are crossing, people don't realize. I'm gonna post some videos, and it's so funny because I might lose signal as I'm coming into the border area, but all the factories that they talked about building, all those damn factories are in Mexico. Let me tell you, they're building numerous factories down here, and there's no EPA, right? There's no EPA in Mexico. So all they do is throw all their damn chemicals out to the river, and all the rivers right here in the San Diego area, right? That's the border of San Diego and Mexico, all travel north.
Oh, that's the way the current goes?
Yeah, let me tell you. Then all these American companies down here are taking advantage of the situation that there's no environmental protection, right?
Yeah.
They fly their American flag outside their freaking factory, right, along with the Mexican flag. But then they're dumping their damn chemicals in the river behind their buildings or in front of them.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they all come up here to San Diego. And then they go to the international treatment area, right? But they still get flooded everywhere. And all that damn shit goes into the beach. And it makes its way all the way up, just below La Jolla.
Okay.
Where are you at?
I'm in Texas, but I used to live in San Diego. So, I mean, I remember the beaches having the signs out like, don't go out there, bacteria, this, that.
Oh, and man, it's worse. People don't even realize. They're just thinking it's just, shit and piss. But no, these companies are just pouring out chemicals from their freaking...
and folks in the live chat, he's not kidding about that comment, because when it would rain, and like it wouldn't take much, when it would rain, the drainage and sewage systems would kind of get overloaded, and they would just like expel that into the ocean. And so literally you're swimming in it out there.
Oh, let me tell you. So a friend of mine made a movie. A friend of mine from Coronado, he made a movie. It's called The Big Dump. His name, no, for real. His name is Larry Del Rose. And yeah, so he made this video, and it talks about all this damn crap over here.
Oh, geez. We might be a little late for him.
We got 59 people on your live. Yeah, check out my videos. I posted a video of Trump's wall, before and after the wall.
Yeah.
What it looked like before Trump and what it looked like after him.
Okay.
And people don't even realize how great the wall is. People don't even realize, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the follow here.
And the other funny thing is, political count.
What's that?
Is people don't realize that Biden's administration is actually working on the wall right now. Yeah. It's kind of funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is actually funny. Somebody was trying to prove a point to me, and they're like, "Oh, well, Biden's built more wall than Trump has," and I just like, it gives me pause. I'm like, really? That's really what
They
you're
were
telling me right now?
anti-wall. Yeah, his whole thing was anti-wall. That's why they stopped all of the movement on it, and they said, "Hey, we're against the wall." When they said all their stupid rhetoric, right? Oh man, the border stopped for some reason.
Yeah. Hey, Randy, I appreciate you jumping in here and sharing some conversation with us. I want to take some other people on the live, but
Hey, that's no problem. I'll jump
you mentioned
out,
that
but-
you're voting for Trump. What's the number one thing that's driving you to vote for Trump?
Well, I'm retired from the military. I spent a lot of time in Iraq, and the people that are living over here in Mexico, getting ready to cross over, are from the Middle East. So,
really,
I haven't really worked up the courage too much. I think there's like a training camp down the street from my gym, up on top of the hill of Rosarito,
Yeah.
where I see these Middle Easterners, and you know, I mean, they're dressed just like fucking Iraq. And I posted a video on there on my TikTok, and yeah, these guys are like bad guys. I'm sure they're bad guys.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'll have to
it's
check out some of those
crazy.
videos that you post, and I'd say, keep doing it because that needs to, be a little bit more visible.
Yeah, and then I'll vote. I've been taking a lot of pictures and videos of the factories down here in Mexico, and I need to post those on my TikTok. I just haven't compiled them yet.
Okay. All right. Hey,
But yeah, check
appreciate
out
it,
my
Randy.
videos. My wife put my thing to private because I was getting too many weirdos on my TikTok.
Okay.
So I don't know how she did it. I'm not really too familiar how this TikTok thing is, but she set my stuff to private. So. All right, then you guys have a good day. I should be crossing the line in like 30 cars, but
All
they
right.
stopped. No cars are going in now, so I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
All right. Hey, you take
All right,
care of yourself,
you guys
Randy.
have a good one. All
Thanks.
right, bye, brother.
Bye. All right, let's get Vera up here waiting patiently. Vera, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Doing good, doing good.
Boy, that was an interesting conversation, man. That guy's had to have seen quite a bit, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. It's like, whoa, what the heck? I mean, you need to like set up a live stream on that or something.
Right. That would be. Could you imagine how? Man, that would be a lot of followers or what have you. I don't know how busy he is, but yeah.
No, I mean, I'd be getting like, you can get cheap cameras off Amazon, easy. Just like set it up. It's not even that hard anymore,
Yeah, yep. You can put it in your pen.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So, what's on your mind, and what's driving you to vote for the candidate you are voting for?
I've been looking with like, how many times we got to go through the same thing where we got to see somebody else be a Republican, someone else be a Democrat, and have it come across the same old hype that we always see every time that we see him come on national TV, to try to answer questions. It's just a circus all the way around, all the time, every time that another person has to come to office.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it to me, that's like, okay, these people are our peers, they're our leaders. They should have some sort of obligation to get into detail on how these things are going to work. Because you can't go about not saying and having a solid explanation to what these people are going to be trying to pass as law to try to get through Congress, to having our country be $37 trillion in debt. Like, that is laughably embarrassing. That's something I should just tell my kid not to do,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, okay, being as it may be, me personally and how things are being affected is like, I can't personally retire here at all. I've been a carpenter for 15 years. I've racked up some 401k with some odd jobs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Put it aside. The way that I'm looking at it right now as a carpenter, I'm going to retire with $2,000 for my pension a month. And that's maybe if I get Social Security.
Wow.
It's just sad what this country has come to, because it's like when you retire, you should be able to retire, not have to, retire then work some more,
Yeah. It's, there was a period of time where, the argument was like, well, hey, I don't know if you remember or not, but Al Gore, when he was going for president, he said he wanted to put Social Security in a lockbox. And that was like his big buzzword or whatever. So for a good amount of time, people were like, oh, well, they siphon that Social Security money off and spend it elsewhere. But the amount of dollars we take in Social Security tax is not enough to cover what's getting paid out, right? And
that's exactly the problem too.
It's like, wait a minute, when did that happen? And why didn't they plan for this? And, like you get a ton of questions that go through your mind because it's like those benefits should be going up over time. And how come you guys didn't think this went through, right?
Yeah. Yep. And so it's kind of like a curved point to where, a lot of people are looking to other countries. Like the man previously that was on here, he's like, I have 2 houses now where I'm sure he's probably living a little bit of better life, more relaxed life, even though he's still got to do what he's got to do to make money.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't have that burden, of thinking that how are you going to make your next payment on something, in a sense.
Right.
So I mean, I did the same thing, I got 64 acres now in Africa.
Seriously?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean...
What country?
Zambia.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to get more, and I'll probably retire there as soon as I possibly can. The only obligation, that's why I'm here, is because I have 2 kids from another woman. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm still, planning on just being here for longer than I should be, because I'm looking out for them.
Yeah, Henry in the chat just said, I think I'll move to the Philippines. I actually just got back from the Philippines a week ago. And same scenario, there you'll find people all over the world doing exactly what you're doing,
Yep. And I was talking to a guy who was actually doing drug testing. He does it for going from company to company, and he's moving to Thailand.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's got to be awesome. It's just gotten really hard here, is the way I feel,
Yeah.
So not to say that I'm kind of...
That dynamic is what needs to get resolved, because, like, I think people feel good, like I'm useful, I get things done, right? I've contributed, and then it's not adding up anymore. And it's like, what just happened, right? The system that was in place has changed big time.
Exactly. The housing market, good people that are just, a few years younger than me, trying to get a home and start a family can't, because inflation, groceries, gas, and then the interest rate on buying a house. And now this whole thing with this $25,000 for new home buyers. Oh, how is that supposed to help the inflation? You just want to give out 25 grand to how many millions of people that are now just wanting to up and jumpstart a home and a business? Like, what?
Yeah. It's a little, it's very short-sighted in my view. And, with the housing, we've gone from average home price of $200,000 to now $400,000.
Right?
So, I don't know how to resolve that. Like, literally in a matter of 4 years, it doubled.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... you could say it came from Trump and his presidency, to where he was like putting us $18 trillion in debt, to where I don't know where these people are thinking that Biden was trying to, I see, that's my confusion, is that are they taking the inflation and using that to pay back the national debt?
So this is a really weird scenario. They, somebody on a live pointed me to modern monetary theory, which I had never heard of before. And when you look at it, whoever the economist was, I don't remember his name, he basically says it's no big deal for governments to print as much as they want to cover expenses and to put money towards social programs. It's a good thing. It's okay to rack up a bunch of debt. It's just paper, no big deal. Like it's bizarre. Like it makes no sense to me, right? Because at some point the house of cards is going to like collapse on you, and so they do these things because they've got these folks that have like created this imaginary system that's going to work for them. And it's stuff like this. I don't know how far they're going to take it. And we're all going to suffer from it at that point. Because you look at a country like Greece, when they basically defaulted on everything, their pensioners are the ones that suffered. You know, their pensions got cut big time.
But then if that can't necessarily happen because China's our yin to our yang, communism versus the way of our lives. It couldn't necessarily default, could it?
The thing is, the way we're set up right now, everything runs through the dollar for the most part. The products, the innovation, everything. If we didn't have that, we'd be in trouble. But because we have that, it still gives more value to our currency on a relative basis to other currencies. So it's because there's just like a relative nature of that, of how our currency exchanges with others, we continue to be strong. But it seems so delicate, like it's not going to take much to, cause just this negative cascade to me. It doesn't seem like it's going to last. I say this and maybe it'll last another year or 2 years, but there's going to be a tipping point that it's going to hit. And I'd say we're probably already getting there with some of the, affordability issues that you're describing.
Yeah, that's kind of where I think, where a lot of these younger folk, I think, are going to pop, Yeah. Where things were promised to the people, didn't work out, and that could possibly happen. It happened before, I think it was World War I. The people rose up against the government, but the government fought back and pretty much annihilated the people. It was a wash. Because the government promised the veterans during that time, the people during that time, the families during that time, compensation for them fighting. So they didn't pay. They ended up fighting. They ended up losing. You could watch all this on television. It was pretty weird.
Yeah.
It was like something they kind of did, like something out of the Civil War, where they're kind of running up the streets with horses.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. It's like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, it was pretty wild looking at all that and seeing all that history. But with the younger folk seeing how that they are now, let's say, for example, Kamala does what she says that you're saying that she does on this list here. Okay, she becomes president, this decides to happen. There goes more of our national debt that goes a little higher. Let's say that it didn't happen, for example. We got 4 more years of maybe some leeway to where it's still paying off some of that national debt, to where she's not wanting to put money towards the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of knocking off that docking spectrum.
Yeah. It's tough, right? Because the bottom line for me, like I don't like the idea of somebody coming and saying, "Hey, no big deal. I'll just give you all this stuff. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of you." Versus, you know what, the system's not working. Let's fix the system so that, we can continue to, be a part of it and be self-sufficient and, do things on our own. The second scenario is where I lean towards, and I think there's a difference between the parties, right? Like one of them's wanting to just be the provider of everything to a degree. And I think that's really dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh man, you know, we can carry on with this conversation for a long time, but I don't think you want to carry it on with me. I'm sure you got other people that you want to talk
Let me
to.
get somebody else up. I'm breaking my own rules here, so I appreciate you
it's
coming
cool,
on, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. I gotta head out, and it's 3 a.m., so I gotta head out. So you have a good night, though, man. I followed you, by the way.
I appreciate that. Thanks. Take care.
Yep. Take care.
All right. Let's see who we got here next. Guitarist for Trump. Verbally confirmed Virginia. Chris, what's going down? You're having like a meltdown or like a...
Hey, man.
Hey, guitarist. How are you?
Man, I'm okay, buddy. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Wow, I have been listening to two powerful conversations in a row, bro. Like one guy over there, and I'm like, man, he is seeing some stuff. No lie, if he was to get some film on there and put that thing on TikTok, good Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Make the United States aware of what's going down. Man, I wanted to comment on that. As a matter of fact, it really hit me that hard. It's the reason that I requested is I have a buddy of mine, who I cannot name, that is like he's an attaché to a general, and the conversation he was involved with had to do with Panama and what they're doing in Panama. There are literally facilities in Panama. Now, this is him telling me directly, a conversation he heard from this general, where they are literally in Panama. They have, they're busing thousands of these Middle Eastern people up to Mexican border, and Mexico is assisting them traveling up to the border, bruh. And that's directly from him. But I just wanted to touch on that because I imagine you probably have heard every reason in the book and this podcast that you're doing, man, as to why they're voting for Trump or whether they're voting for Harris, right? Well, I'm voting for Trump. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the reasoning that I have is probably a little bit off the charts from what it is that you hear on a regular basis. One of the things about the difference, I think, in Harris personally and in Trump is the reason why they're running. You know, what is it that's driving the two of them? We've got Trump that's taken a bullet, had another assassination attempt on his golf course. This guy has pretty much given up everything. It's certainly not ambition. He's one of the most popular people in the world today. So we can scratch ambition off, check.
He's lost a lot of money.
Oh my God, he's lost a lot of money. Yeah, but he's getting $450 million of it back, Daddy, for that lawsuit. But nevertheless, so what is Kamala's reasoning for? But what is her reason for it? It's ambition and power. And I just see her as a hand puppet for the Soroses out there and Obama and blah, 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 blah. I don't see any love for America coming out of her. All I see her is degrading America and causing fear in the voters and putting America down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, I don't see I don't see where she is. I don't see any love for America in her. And the other thing that guy was talking about that lives in Mexico or has two houses in Mexico now is the corporations that are being built over in Mexico. Donald Trump is going to absolutely slap their hands and their wrist and put tariffs on their stuff, just like he did the last 4 years that he was in, and cause them to move their facilities back into the United States and start manufacturing here in the States again. Right. And I think that he puts America first. You know, I think he actually loves America and its values, and he loves the country. And I don't believe that is the case with Kamala.
Yeah, it's an odd dynamic that they're encouraging, this weird self-loathing.
I know, man.
Like, it's cool to do that. And it's like, really? Like, you don't have anything better to do with your time? I don't understand it. Because, I mean, I'll tell you what, my family was immigrants. We followed the process the right way. We were refugees from a war-torn country. I mean, escaped. My parents, my dad was affiliated with the United States
in that country. And anyway, escaped, made it here, immigrants. I mean, I don't know any better. I was like 6 months old or something when I'd moved. But I mean, they followed the process. There was, channels provided, and everybody was excited to go through the assimilation process. And now assimilation is like a bad word, but it's like, I want to learn about the history and what the values are, and let's participate. We're going to be a part of this, right?
Well said, man.
And it's strange to me now that people tear up the flag, spit on things. All of a sudden, George Washington's his schools are getting renamed. You know what I mean? It's just bizarre. I don't understand.
Isn't that ridiculous? Lord have mercy. Anyhow, wow. So bravo for you. Hats off to you and your family for doing it the right way. And look what's occurred. I'm enjoying your program. I was just sitting here just listening until that guy said that. And I said, what the heck? I'm going to jump in. But one other thing, just real quick. I know you got other people waiting. There's something about President Trump. Now, I don't want to get off into a religious thing because I have a belief there, but because his family goes back to the Hebrews revival in Scotland. And matter of fact, the Bible he swore in on come from the Hebrews revival. From the ladies that prayed that revival in. But I'm not going to go there. Where I want to go is this: strength, resolve, and the military thing that Trump provides. One of the things that nations knew when Trump was in office is that he's not kidding. If he's just like when he made a promise to us as American people, I don't know one that he didn't fulfill other than the wall, and that is because the Democrats put a halt to it, right? If he said he was going to do it, in my opinion, and I think he did it, and his resolve was to do what it is that he said he was going to do, personally. And I think that militarily, we were more respected as a nation than we are now, by far.
Yeah, I think so too, and I find it comical when folks, I let folks express their thoughts. I may ask a few questions because let them get it out, and we can talk about it. As odd as some of the statements sound, but they say the exact opposite. That Trump was the laughing stock and making us look bad, and
what in the world?
Yeah, and I'm just like scratching my head, and it's like maybe they were looking at him because you have those scenes of him like barging in the room and taking things over and telling them how it's going to be.
People out of the way, bro.
You know what I mean?
He would literally put his hand on him and move him out of the way if they were standing in front of him.
Yeah,
he doesn't play.
Maybe people did talk about that kind of stuff, and maybe some feelings got hurt. But honestly, I don't really care.
Neither do I. As a matter of fact, I respect him for it, man. I respect him for it. I respect that he went there to the unknown soldiers' grave and did that. The families invited him to be able to do that. I respect the fact. I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but if you haven't, man, maybe I can send it to you. I'll message it. Where Trump was up there in the hills, man, in North Carolina, handing out money, handing out supplies. And not only that, but now I'm a big hugger, right? So he was hugging people and holding people. That lady held him for a good 30 seconds, and he let her just cry on him. That, I don't know, man. I think he loves America.
Yeah.
I do.
And people in general, and I just...
Yeah.
Yep. And he's not perfect.
No, he's not. Absolutely. No, I'm the only perfect one that I know of. But anyhow, hey man, thanks for letting me come on and voice my opinion.
Yeah, jump in anytime.
I appreciate it. I really love what you're doing. Keep doing it.
All right, I appreciate that. You take care.
Thanks.
All right. Who else is next? Oh, Blank Q. How about that? Let me go scan through some comments, and while I scroll up a little bit, if you want to jump on the live and talk about who it is you're voting for and give a reason for it. This is my person that I'm voting for, and the number one reason is, fill in the blank. No debate, no arguments, no traps, just express yourself. I'm interested in getting some real personal opinions from folks. Because I don't think we hear that enough. We just hear the arguing and probably the same talking points over and over again. But, I think that takes away from people personalizing it and actually voting for, something, and instead of voting against something. All right, let's scan these chats real quick. All this does is make government and people rich and greedy. You're trying to convince us to vote Kamala because that list looks good. Yeah, but they get you, right? They give you a list like that. It's Robin Hood economics, right? Maybe thinking, payroll once. I only use derogatory word handout to point out the ridiculousness of it. True, Kamala has been concerned, trying to get out, but Donald Trump just kept. Trump never took no. Okay. Trump has no qualifications. He thrived off of Obama's achievements. Huh. Okay. Nothing to do with policies or anything at all with actually doing good work for America. Talking about the stuff on the screen, maybe? Don't know. She's going to win, fair and square. Democracy always wins. Okay? Are you serious? Trump is a felon and puts himself first, not America. That's a whole separate topic to go into, those charges. It's a whole separate topic to go into. Either of them are going to stop. Trump spat on American elections. Interesting choice of words. Your reason for voting for Trump is unironically Trump cult. I may have missed who you were talking to. I'm pretty atheist, but I know that it's next level blasphemy. Okay. So instead of actually working to help, he took photos that look good. If they're real. Kamala is better in every possible way, says Charlie. She hasn't addressed any of her policies. He didn't know what... You offer to make their lives better, mainly through buying votes. Call you up. Hit the guest button. Joel, hit the guest button there. Check that chat box next. Yeah, guys. I mean, one point that I keep coming back to is why there is this sense of retribution that's needed for folks that are, I'll just say, well off, doing better than you might be, to whatever degree that is. Who gets to define what rich is? Biden came in saying it was 200,000 or more, and then he had to back off of that. Made it 400,000. It's a moving target. It could go right back down again. And with inflation, that might end up being you. And so when they say, we're going to hold them accountable, you've been taken advantage of, it's like, by who? And they're referencing the wealthy. It's like, how? It's y'all that passed these tax laws that they're using with all the loopholes. Like, go fix that. Inflation's only at 2.4%. Very true. It is. Using our tax money for us. So let's take that first one, the student loan forgiveness. I wrote a check every semester when I was in college. I worked during college. I earned a scholarship. I paid for my college tuition and all the books and supplies and everything. A colleague of mine had a student loan. They paid it off in 10 years or whatever it was. Other people may have paid it off in a similar amount of time or even less. And then you have folks that didn't go to college at all. Where do I fit in this student loan equation? Should I have not worked while I was in college? Was that evidently a wrong decision for me? I mean, it's a real moral hazard when you start delving into things like that. So I don't like that idea offhand. There has to be some other way of going about this. But outright cancellation of the debt, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's an appropriate course of action. Hey, Smack, appreciate it. Appreciate the gift. Less student loan debt means more money going into the economy. Let me think about that one. Less student loan debt. You mean that people will have more discretionary income to spend, potentially? So that'd be an engine of stimulation? I don't know. There's better ways of going about it that may be more constructive. Did I hit the button? Did that work? I tried to add you, Smack. I paid off my student loans in 4 years, and I'm not bitter if others receive relief. Okay, that's good. That's fine. I still don't think it's appropriate to, pay somebody's $400,000 dance theory degree. Ask somebody who, we had a gentleman on here earlier that was a carpenter, ask him to pay taxes towards that. I don't think that's appropriate. I think that's completely out of line. Sub-Zero says, so are you Trump or Kamala? I am for Trump. People fresh out of school, workforce can have more money. Yes, more discretionary income to be spent elsewhere. So if that's the case and we can cancel debts, why don't we just go ahead and cancel all debts from all people? Why not do that? What's to stop that from happening? Yes, Icon, I think there should be free tuition options that are public-based. Vocational schools, 2-year and 4-year. There should be public free options. And honestly, a boatload of people would take that up. And I think they should, because it's a great option. You really think anyone takes Trump seriously? I do. World leaders laugh at him. Well, I don't know. There's plenty of Biden footage. There's plenty of Harris footage that speaks otherwise. Having a foundation is typically A1 for building an economy. So what are Trump's policies? He's got them listed out on his site. It's Agenda 47, not Project 2025. Agenda 47 is what he has on his website. Well, not every single one, but they have YouTube videos that kind of go into more detail everything. Ooh, excuse me. Problems with student loan debt relief, but no remarks about corporate tax cuts, huh? Kamala's proposing tax increases, not tax cuts. which, maybe we could talk about those tax increases. You think you've been indoctrinated into believing that the bottom-up economics is wrong. I think Robin Hood economics is wrong. World leaders are laughable. That's true. Case in point, Justin Trudeau. If he's your homie, I don't know what to tell you. Quips on rich. Give you away, oligarch. Bootlicker. Wow. Have I talked to you in one of the communist lives before? Maybe. The cat and the 42 look familiar. None of these money policies she's waiting won't be approved. Biden's were just denied. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It would take Congress to approve them. But the fact that these things are unrealistic to achieve in mass or at a large scale, or the increase of taxes, that's still not a reason for me to vote for somebody. They've kind of showed me their hand as to the direction they want to take things. And the top 0.1% truly just know what to do with that money best. Trump is going to do cuts. What do they know? What are they going to do with the money? Corporations and the wealthy can afford to pay more taxes. Trickle down is a myth. So Icon, if you take all the assets away from the over 1,000 billionaires that are in the United States, which is probably that 0.1% mentioned earlier, if you take all of their assets away, all cash, everything they have, and completely leave them homeless, you won't even be able to run the government for a good portion of the year. Well, maybe for a portion of the year. But then what do you do at that point? What's next? Or actually, I think the right question is, who's next? I mean, the Robin Hood does not work. Because you've probably heard it many times. You run out of other people's money. That's the bottom line. And then the printing press starts again. Trickle down is a myth. Trump's taxes aren't for the rich. So rich, no pun intended, rich. Trump's tax cuts brought down the brackets across the board. In fact, back in my computer now, let me ask my AI to give me brackets. Where's my buddy? Not sure if the voice assistant's working yet. Oh, shoot. Not functional. Come on. The tax brackets all went down individually at each layer, right? So that's a marginal benefit. And then if you look at, a couple of folks, they're married, income is at $30,000 a year. The standard deduction was more than doubled. So $27,000 of their income can be deducted. And then you add on earned income credit and some of the other things. At $30,000, they basically owe no taxes. So, I mean, at the very bottom, they got a really sweet deal. They got like practically 100% tax relief. And as you kind of go up from there, more and more taxes start to apply, but it's at a much lower rate. If the first $30,000 is basically exempted from a lot of folks, the child tax credit was doubled from $1,000 to $2,000. I know Harris is talking about, $6,000, but it's only for the first year. So you got to think, do I want an additional $1,000 for each year till they're 18? Or do I want $6,000 just the first year? So, do you want $24,000 overall, or do you want $6,000? Trump thanks over the rich. Oh, wow, 32 comments. I've missed a bunch of stuff, guys. How do women feel about this? Or do you think they're more concerned about their right to choose? I don't know. Perhaps some women in the chat can comment on that. Dude, you literally just hate the idea of helping your fellow citizens. You hate Americans. Nope. Love Americans. And I think the best way to help folks is to teach them how to fish. I do agree that a safety net is needed because you just need it sometimes, but let's teach people how to fish and do it early because the system is not working right now. The education system, you go down the list. You want your taxes to go towards your fellow citizens. Okay. Sounds good. Just go online and read all her outlined policies for Americans who are struggling. More social programs. So, but is that really the answer? Like, let's just have more and more social programs to supplement people's lives because of all the inflation there's been and the difficult, rise in housing prices and rent prices. Are more government subsidies and payouts? Is that really the answer? Because again, you're going to run out of other people's money. Or are there systemic things that you can do because you've done business before and you know how the economy works and how to help balance wage increases with profitability and with inflation? I don't trust Kamala with that scenario. I mean, I know she will sit there and give you handouts to no end, but I don't know. Trump supporters are traitors to our country. Oh, okay, Rich. Sorry you feel that way, Rich. I guarantee you I'm not. Oops. What about agents? Yeah, Queen, I mean, it's bizarre. Like that line item, that third line, was on Bloomberg this morning, and I wrote it down because that was the new proposal she put out there. And, the woke are doing jumping jacks. I don't know. Beats me. How would one of the third one be legal in the U.S.? Well, nature risk. You bring up a good point because all of those civil rights laws, you would think, would start to kick in and apply, and you cannot, or you have to provide equal opportunity in financing, loans and so forth. So the government's going to trip on itself if they actually pass something like that. So as somebody mentioned earlier, the likelihood of a lot of these actually getting passed is very low, but it's telling as to the perspective and the mindset that they're looking to push out there, right? It's telling for like when they do have a chance to make something happen, what is the principles that they're going to fall back on? And for me, it's, exclusion of various groups, right? Being very exclusive. It's providing handouts. It's providing, continual subsidies and creating even more dependence on the government rather than fixing the system. So when she says an opportunity economy, this is what she's talking about. How is that opportunity? They're just solving the problem for you. Cayman Islands, yeah, they got to clean those up. You Trump supported, so uneducated. You Trump supported, so uneducated. I got to read it again. You Trump supported, so uneducated. Okay. It's not all this. There's another extreme straw man. We cannot fund all her dreams. No, we cannot. You are just making up straw men. Are you talking about the meme kind of faces, the NPCs in the background? I don't know if I mentioned it. It's AI generated, the whole thing. The Kamala, the background. I added some text and stuff on top of it, but otherwise it's all, it is all AI generated. And if my AI would come back, the voice one I was going to use tonight just to interact. I was going to set it up to where, people could call up and like talk directly to my AI and, get feedback in real time. But anyway, maybe another night. Sending our money to other countries is for the people. Yeah. And the hurricane victims. Yeah. It comes down to priorities, right? You look really silly really quickly when you cannot provide and provision for your own citizens. If it weren't for MAGA, I couldn't have fallen in love with my sister. What? Tooth? Oh, wow. Okay. Very funny there, Toothless. I'm not sure what you're saying. Adam, JMZ, Republicans love giving handouts and subsidies to the ultra wealthy. I think that's just like a talking point. Where's the example of that? When did that happen? Nobody's doing that. I just walked you guys through how somebody, family, a couple just got married, earning $30,000 a year, basically pay no taxes under Trump's tax regime. And that's actually going away next year if the tax cuts are not extended. It's called helping people and encouraging business. Or is it called discrimination? I don't know. Yeah, she's trying to buy her way into office with taxpayer money. That's very true, Eugene. You will never be deported if you had documents, paper, visas. It's a pretty big leap exclusion. Why this complicated theory? There's simple logic to it all, Shem. I don't think it's very complicated. She literally is proposing $20,000 for black entrepreneurs. So what do you have to do to qualify for that, right? How do you not qualify for that? Fill in the blank there. It's not complicated. Tax cuts isn't buying votes. But the tax cuts are across the board. Those are more geared towards, adjusting the system to work better. I mean, shoot, I want to keep my money in my pocket. I don't know about you guys. She's trying to buy votes with promises she had no way to fulfill. Yep, that's true. Realistically, these will not be fulfilled. With softball interviews, she was a disaster. Yeah, the 60 Minutes one I have not watched yet, but they said that one... excuse me. They actually changed clips on it to enhance some of the responses she gave, which I thought was bizarre. I mean, after they gave her such a difficult time during the interview, they actually helped her out. Trump gave massive tax cuts to corporations, reduced from 35 to 21. 40% reduction. Yep, that was reduced. That's right. I think it's great because if you reinstitute it, it's going to cause pretty much a decline across the board in the stock market because everyone's earnings are going to get hit, right? Yeah. Earnings will go down, stock valuations will go down accordingly. There'll be a cascading effect with that. Companies making record profits off you and me can pay for it. So how much will you get in reality from that? Let me ask my AI. The voice one's not working. So if the corporate tax rate was increased to 40%, see if we can solve this riddle for me. 40%, how much additional revenue would be brought into the U.S. Treasury? Can it solve it? All right. To estimate the additional revenue, man, my eyes are blurry. I can't even see this damn thing. It's probably because I'm getting tired, guys. All right. To estimate the additional revenue from increasing corporate tax rate to 40%, we need to consider the current corporate tax rate and revenue. The current federal corporate tax rate is 21% and generated approximately $424 billion in fiscal 22. Additional revenue. So increasing the corporate tax rate to 40% could potentially bring in an additional $382 billion. Okay, and that would be for a total of... Okay, so the additional amount is $382 billion. The Biden-Harris proposed budget, what was it, like $1.7 trillion over? It's not going to pay for it. It won't. You got to find more answers. And where else are they going to look? They're going to look at you and me. The definition of rich is going to change, or they're going to say, hey, everybody needs to chip in because we really like this social program that we want to do. Why do all her plans involve giving money to other people? It's Robin Hood economics. That's her style. Stock market at an all-time high. Yep. Inflation-driven market. Let me ask it. What is the market cap for NVIDIA? Can you tell me that? Current news. As of now, NVIDIA's market cap is approximately 3.4 trillion. Are you kidding me? 3.4 trillion? Wow. What is NVIDIA's PE? The price to earnings ratio is 64. Okay. How much revenue did NVIDIA have for fiscal 2023? Okay. This is bizarre. The company's valued at over 3 trillion. I thought it was 1. Company's valued at over 3 trillion. They only made 26 billion in revenue, not even profit. Let's ask it. How much profit did NVIDIA make in fiscal 2023? 4.3 billion. Okay. Wow. Not even 10. So that's 10 would make it 40 billion. 100, almost 1,000 times earnings. Their stock valuation is almost 1,000 times earning. That's crazy. Yeah, I know the PE is 64 here, but I'm just saying simplistically, like assume it was 4 trillion and they got 4 billion here. What's the order of magnitude there? And it's 1,000. That is insanity. The valuation is way out of control. Like, I don't care what you say. This valuation is way out of control. The AI craze it's completely lost its mind at this point. So yeah, stock market's all-time highs. The exuberance is irrational. And the deficits grew under Trump only for fiscal 2020. And I'll let you guys guess why that was. When Trump gave tax cuts to a large majority of those companies, gave out bonuses to employees. Yep, and I got one too. And so did everybody. Kamala's sophomore interview was a disaster. Debate with Trump was 3-on-1. Yes, it was. All right, self-protection, she had. Bill Clinton and Obama increased corporate tax rates and had booming economies. So Bill Clinton was president when there's two huge waves that people are not recognizing, these massive secular cycles that took place. One was the dot-com boom that happened during Bill Clinton's era, right? All of a sudden having this new form of communication that everybody has a PC, you know, they're making PCs like crazy. Maybe people had like 2 of them in their home. But having access to the internet, that just skyrocketed the market, right? And economies boomed, and then everything kind of fell apart, 2000, 2001. And it took a period of time for things to recover, and the housing market led the way, and of course that busted again in 2009. Obama came into office. Remember when the original iPhone was created? It was, I think, 2007. And that version did not have like 3G internet. The 3G internet was introduced by AT&T a year later in 2008. And that just absolutely started a massive wave towards mobile internet. They introduced the App Store. They brought the iPhone 3G out into the market. You could get like a 1 or 2 megabit connection off of 3G, so you could stream videos. You could do a lot of stuff all of a sudden. The networks would get saturated pretty quick, but Wi-Fi was prevalent at that point. So you can download games off the App Store, do all kinds of stuff. Whole new economies kind of spun up from that. It became a new thing. And that was just the beginning of the mobile internet, right? And then Amazon, other companies started jumping in there. Google came out with their Android operating system. A lot of stuff was driven off of this mobile internet, boom during that time period that Obama experienced. And that's when you had the FANG stocks, right? Facebook, right? That really grew big with social media. Apple, right? Netflix, Google. That's when those tech giants really took hold and moved forward. So there was these two like major secular trends that happened during those periods of time. Did they have a hand in doing that, or did they just happen to be president during those periods? Harris seems to never get fact checked. Nope, she doesn't. Harris spent the emergency funds on millions and millions of illegal. The funny thing is the press secretary, I got a video clip I need to post in one of my clips here that I do soon. The press secretary actually said we're redirecting FEMA funds to help with migrants. And then more recently she says, no, we never did that. And it's just bizarre. Like, how can you not remember that that's exactly what you told people, I don't know, a number of months ago? But I guess it's hard to keep up with things that when you're in that type of role. 50s. Who's Trump buying votes? We're short. Just reading through some of these other ones here. Yep. Oh, shoot. Had somebody waiting and I didn't click fast enough. I was reading the comments here. We had 1.4% inflation under Trump. That's true. So Desire or Dursey, he did have companies that went bankrupt. When you're operating in the billions of dollars, you don't have one company. You have many. You operate kind of like a portfolio, and you divest from what's not working, and you put that money into what is working and double down on it, or find something new that has a better return potential. And so that's just a consequence of managing your portfolio. Some stuff has to go out of the system. Some stuff has to, come in. I actually don't think that's that big of a deal. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, and I followed that guy earlier that was, I bought a few homes in Mexico and nearby where he lived. Was seeing a lot of folks coming in. Bribery 100%, yep. I agree, and I will give you a sticker. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody sticking around, hear me ramble. We took some people, I guess a good number of folks as guests. The primary driver tonight was to see, if folks could kind of express who they're voting for and what's driving them to vote for that individual. Like, give me your top issue. We're not successful. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Real question is, how do we pay for it all? It's going to be the printing press, is my guess. But we weren't fully successful at getting everybody to kind of talk about reasons that they're voting for a given candidate. It was more against the other candidate. I think that if we're going to move forward and bring things together, we need to start focusing on the positive aspects of our candidate and focus our attention on that and have that be the centerpiece of our discussion rather than the negativity around the other candidate. Difficult to do because some of it's very entertaining and fun, and I contribute to that mess as well with the videos I put out there. But honestly, think about the positive aspects of what you are voting for and let that be your guide. Let that be what you discuss and what you lead with when you're interacting with folks, just generally speaking. Because I think it's that type of mindset and that type of baseline that we all need to come back together around, because things have gotten way too hostile at this point. Everyone at work just tiptoes around politics. Nobody wants to address it. But then the funny thing is, I was in the Philippines recently on business, and you could check out some of my clips of my trip out there. I was in the Philippines on business, and they were very much wanting to ask me, like, who are you voting for? Or not, because they're paying attention, it matters to them, and they want me to vote for Trump unanimously. They are very afraid of what China's doing, about the aggression that's happening out there in Southeast Asia. They want Trump. They don't feel safe. They will feel safe if Trump is in office. That was kind of telling to me. And so when people are saying, like, oh, the world's laughing, I don't know. What Captain Zanzibar says, haha, focus on the positive in front of your background. Yeah, I know. I contribute to the mess too. I'll own that. I contribute to mess. I ignored mine I may have missed some of your chat messages for sure. All of a sudden, sometimes it says 20 new messages, and then it just scrolls up the page on me and I lose stuff. Ignored mine about the America's highest tax rate in history. Went with the golden age. So I guess you're talking about the 60s and 70s. So, the economy started to stagnate when those higher tax rates were put in place. The economy started to stagnate, and then you had the stagflation scenario that ran through the 70s into the early 80s. And how did we undo that? Was to free up the market. Yeah, I am the BG. I know they want to take it out of my pocket. I don't want you to take it out of my pocket. Get out of my pocketbook. That's all I got to tell you. But anyway, I think if we can figure out a way to focus on positive aspects of things, we will go a lot further towards actual unification of the country and actually coming together on a lot of these issues. I think that's an important one, right? Hey, thanks for the follow, Julia. And folks, hey, join the team, because I want to see if we can kind of, I know I add to the fire. I do. I'm not a perfect guy. But what do you think about the Flint water supply? Awful. I don't know why that hasn't been taken care of, honestly. And that's a priority thing to me, right? From federally, it's a priority thing. You send so much money in foreign aid, yet you couldn't spare $1 billion to, I don't know how much it would be, but I imagine it would not be the scale of dollars sent out in foreign aid to fix that situation. Trump bags about being buddies with Putin. What's wrong with that? Anyway, we need to come together, join the team. My goal is if we can kind of build a community that can have discussion. I don't want to say debate anymore because that term has turned into something that's not constructive. You see that on a lot of the other lives. And that's why I'm trying to take just one person at a time now, because it quickly devolves when you have multiple guests on. And then you have to hit the mute button on everybody, try to settle it back in, and it devolves again very quickly. So I'm trying to just like pick a few topics, pick a few points. Like today it was centered around, focusing on what is it that, makes you want to vote for your particular candidate. Let's think about those things. So join the team. I appreciate folks giving me likes. How many likes? I can't even see it. My eyes are blurry. How many likes are that? All right, we had about 6,500 folks come through. Hey, 27 new followers. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I can't read the likes. It's blending into the image for me. I'll have to look at it after the fact, I guess, in the stats. What do I think about funding public schools? Well, my property tax rate is close to 3%. So not only am I funding schools here, I am funding them all over the state of Texas. I am irritated that the tax level is so high. I wish it were lower, but hey, the community I'm in and the schools that we have are just phenomenal, second to none. So I do appreciate that. Out of curiosity, I know if you're politically... when it comes to schooling. There's a separate tax that's for our school district, in addition to, the municipal utility district that they built out and a few other things. And so the overall tax is about 3%. But not all of the dollars that are for the school board or for the school district here go locally, or some of it gets distributed, back to the state and back to other areas. Out of curiosity, what if you're politically? I'm not understanding the Brexit question. Unless it's different in Texas, which it might be due to this and weirdness. It's different in Texas. The only weirdness I'll say that exists is with the electric companies. You literally have hundreds to choose from. It's bizarre. I literally have to pay for somebody to pool a group of 10 or 20,000 folks together and negotiate a better price with one of these electric providers. It's bizarre. Unless it's different. So it may be different in Texas. They redistribute the funds. So when they, when property values go up and the taxes go up, that does not immediately go to our local schools. There you have a fixed cap as to what is distributed to them. Hey, Kale, I'm going to have to take you in a different time. I'm fading a little bit here. I'm going to have to call it quits. I'm just scanning through some final comments here that people have put in. I appreciate the engagement. Join the team, folks. Let me see if I can pin that. I just need one team member. That'd be awesome. Your vote isn't real, says Owen. I don't know why it filtered that. Hypothetical Thea says, Communist Manifesto. No country in the world has open borders like we do now. Those who collect the benefits should pay them back, not use everyone else's taxes. Yep. And for new folks on the live, the background image is all AI generated. User 96 trillion, good point. All right. Just me if you benefit from, I just say you gotta be open and like own it. Like, yeah, that 35,000 or whatever it ends up being in student loan debt relief. Somebody else paid that off for me. And you just gotta own it. Like, yeah, that's what happened. You know what I mean? Like, don't pretend that there is no consequence there. Yeah, I'm falling asleep here too, Wade. The energy level is falling. All right, guys. I appreciate it. 6,700 come through. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll catch you on another live.
That's good. That's good. That's good. What are your hobbies?
Hobbies would be, well, I'm kind of I don't go out much, so I love watching